here trying to configure it. So it should be live on Facebook as well as YouTube. So you can check me out at any of the following. And yeah, it's been an interesting week with all the conversations that's happening. I love it. I love it because I think maybe we're using Will Smith and content from the manosphere or whatever because everybody's pretty focused on that right now. But there's a lot to learn for people for men in particular, who, if you're going to be worth something, if you're going to be doing something, if you're going to be working on your life's purpose, if you're going to be literally, building, who you choose to do it with matters, and I think a lot of men we just haven't been taught that. You know what I'm saying? So um, we're learning and we have to learn. And a lot of people are not learning. A lot of people are literally repeating in the same cycles over and over for the sake of being socially conditioned to do so. So it's a lot of the same stuff repeating over and over. But one thing's for sure is that, people, first of all, we can judge, but we don't really know what's going on. And when it's Hollywood type stuff, it's very common for essentially for a lot of this shit to be one big joke, and jokes on you because you spending a lot of time. But if there's something to learn from something, you know what I'm saying? You learn what you need to learn. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, everybody? What up, Green, Mia, Sergio? What's going on? You know what I mean? You know who's seeing me over here on Facebook, YouTube. Shout outs to everybody joining me today. Shout outs to you guys. Hope you guys having a good day. It's a beautiful spring day. Today's a new moon. Real high energy. Um, Fresh start for some folks. It'll definitely feel like that. And new beginnings are great for the spring in general. And people, for the most part, you can feel a new rhythm in nature. You can feel a whole new vibe when the spring comes in, and it's motivating, and it's that Aries energy of starting shit off. So, I imagine that a lot of people right now are in some really high spirits in regards to what they have planned, because you should be. This is a season of really coming up into your biggest dreams and your biggest ideals. And a lot of times, for the most part, folks just really need to get focused on what's really important to them. And, I talk about this a lot because at the end of the day, you know, a man, it's not good to be dragged all over the place. You can't serve two gods, and if you the God, then if you're serving too many other people's interests, at some point there's going to be a conflict in interest. So, the masculine energy, for the most part, definitely needs to know itself, ground itself, and really be at peace with who he is, as well as who he's becoming, for the purpose of using that as a foundation for when he does come into, dealing with women on a serious level. Because what we're doing now in the marketplace, for the most part, let's just be real. If you're just dating and smashing and dashing, having little relationships that, for the most part, they're not fulfilling and they're not leading to anything. Like, at the end of the day, other than busting a nut, like, really, what's the benefit in them? And what men got to learn how to understand is, like, I talk about this in the course, and of course, I'm promoting my course that's coming up. You hear me talk about these things all the time, but it's a way to put it all together, especially for men who, for the most part, you just been in the marketplace. You've been having these casual relationships with women. You have perhaps not a real good example in your family, and a variety of other things that pretty much make these crazy hookups, these really off balance relationships with women, pretty common. because many men, for the most part, are feeding themselves illusions about what women are going to be. Like, she's not going to be anything other than who she is, brother. And I've said this before, and for the guys who are really in a good space, you just understand how the game go. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Julian? Hope I get to watch the replay, Kings, sitting at the round table among other kings. Salute, man. Can I salute to you too, my brother? You know what I'm saying? What's good, Earl? What's good, Matt? What's good, King Spirit? What's good, Richie? Lord Richie. You know what I'm saying? Harry, how you doing, man? Mr. Hustling, Motivate. Nice to see you. Hope everybody having a good Friday. You know? Yeah, I mean, strategy is needed. Like and I find myself working with a lot of men and getting questions from a lot of people pertaining to the differences, the big differences that a lot of men have with their women. If y'all don't really come from the same background, if your mothers are not similar, if there are some changes, that some differences that when they're there, you may never get adjusted to this. If you don't understand what it's like for her going through this to a certain degree, you may never get adjusted to her, because she may never get adjusted to you, who has a different frame of mind, a different space, different experience. You understand what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, man, we want what we want, and the more we understand our value is the more we become like more vigilant about getting that. Like, okay, I'm not just about to, okay, everybody's gonna give me some sex, okay, so I gotta pump the brakes for a second right now and just really focus on myself and avoiding all of these pitfalls, these little things that happen in between line where, when you're finally working on yourself, here comes a relationship, here comes a, like a good reason to get involved with someone, which, man, we've all been there. But if your foundation is not built, you just talking about something that's essentially going to be a waste of time. You know what I'm saying? Gabby G baby said, "Oh, am I Hebrew?" I've processed through that, that cultural understanding. So I still resonate with that to many levels. So I just view it differently than how I did 15 years ago when I was involved in stuff like that, and the understanding that I was gaining. I just look at it slightly different, but yeah, I've been there for sure. That's a big part of my awakening in many ways. She asked me my Hebrew. I definitely resonate with the Hebraic understanding of the Bible. We got respect for the language, various other things as well too. I've even studied over there. So, but I don't really consider myself that in the sense of a title. It's different these days. But like this game that people are learning on the internet, from dating coaches or whatever the case is, for the most part, you ain't like those people. We're all different. So that's why knowledge of self for the most part is important. Like, it's cool for men to really you know, see how women are and understand how things are and all of these different things. But like, if that's not what you want, like, it don't make no sense studying that shit. At some point, you have to evolve what you want, and really the strategy is about getting what you want, because getting what you want ain't guaranteed to be easy, and neither should it be. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want a certain type of woman, a certain type of relationship, a certain type of marriage, a certain type of, you know what I'm saying, feeling about your family. If you want that, like, you gotta have a good partner. Like, your partner has to want to give that to you. You understand what I'm saying? So, I used to speak a little bit of that Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? It's not as fresh anymore. You know, I had a little understanding and a little speaking at one point. It's not so much these days, but I do recall a few of that a few phrases and stuff like that. Yeah, I studied it like that. So yeah, man, you know, we getting really at a space right now. If you're like the type of man who wants to have a family, like you can learn from guys like myself. You can learn from men who've had children in a certain fashion that allowed for the children pretty much to not really reach their full potential due to dysfunction between them and the mother. Like we have to be able to choose over that. It's not just to say, okay, all the women are smashed, crazy, feminist, independent, modern, and all this shit, and they all, if that's how you feel, right? Which is no problem with how you feel. Then you gotta extricate yourself from that marketplace altogether. And this is why, the first workshop is about the marketplace, understanding the value in the marketplace. Because I say extricate yourself from the marketplace, but that literally means don't be around these hoes. You understand? Like you can't be around, be talking to, be liking pictures of women who, you know what I'm saying, do not suit what you want. You know what I'm saying? That means you're just encouraging them to be what the fuck you don't want. And at the end of the day, a man really only wants his woman or his women. Like, who cares about everybody else's woman? That's his job. You get what I'm saying? You just want one for you. You can't have all of them. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you're gonna be very deliberate about it when you know what I'm saying, and a family is what you want, because you got different men. Some men are seed sowers for the and they ain't gonna stick around, and that's possibly a part of the purpose, just for him to spread a particular genetics. You know what I'm saying? The shit happens like that. Happens like that in the animal kingdom to a certain degree. So we're evolving, so to speak, but you got different classifications of men. And what I find is that there are a lot of men these days who, even not these days, ever since the 80s for the most part, and 90s, 2000s, damn, it's a lot of decades now, ain't it? But ever since then, you got a whole bunch of romanticizing men out there who really, really want families. They got a void that they feel. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Sometimes it can be unhealthy if it's not coming from a place. It's like if it's sometimes coming from a place of like, you need to validate yourself by, outdoing your father or being some of these things. Because when a man feels like that, in many cases, like, you may or just may not get that. What and the reason for that is because you didn't have no strategy on how to get what you wanted. You didn't know yourself. You didn't know what you want. You didn't understand the game at all. You thought that you can, in some cases, make every modern woman into a wife, and they call it a wife. They call and refer to themselves as independent women for a whole long season, a long period of time. You understand what I'm saying? And then get married, and they're gonna adapt the title of being a wife. Like, what do you think that is? An independent woman turned wife? Like, it's a whole different philosophy than a woman who was conditioned or desired to be a wife. Do you understand what I'm saying? She wouldn't be trying to be independent before that. So a lot of men are having these blockages when with women because of this mindset. You don't really understand the psychology. That's the very nuanced psychology of literally the last 50 to 100 years, like 70 to be specific. The way that women are conditioned these days is it's not to be your wife, bro. You understand? Cameron, what's good with you, man? Says, are you in the works for a new book, Heart and Break 2? Yeah, actually, I'm doing a second edition to that, which is a little bit of an update, but a little, few changes, more extended in some ways, going into a few more subjects with that, and that'll be it for this title, this series. Cameron appreciates that though, because I feel like there's some changes that can be made to be even more helpful to younger men. Because I was thinking about people my age bracket at that time, but like realize ever since then that damn, like, 17-year-olds need to understand this. Like young men, I was just talking to somebody and I was just like, yeah, you 30, 31 years old. If you think that If you're a wise man who wants a family, that's rare for a woman even 30 years old. And it's even more rare for a younger woman. But who would you rather deal with? A woman who is already committed to being independent? Is that the one you want to convince to marry you? You know what I'm saying? Like, like really, like in all honesty, wouldn't you prefer somebody, because you meticulously went about there and you understand your family needs, wouldn't you prefer to play the game to get somebody that fulfills that need? Like, we got to be realistic. We have to be realistic. This is what a lot of men haven't been able to do, like about the way our women are these days. We complain about them, right? And then fuck them anyways. Shit is crazy. Like, like you got to think about that. We complain about these women all the time, but you know what I'm saying. We're still having sex with them. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why I say, like, guys who are serious about having families, having children that that call you, that are called by your name. A woman who's is certainly 100% dedicated to that path with you. Like, you can't afford to be getting caught up out here in these dating pool sexual marketplace streets. You can't, because sometimes you'll get played so horribly. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Flower Customs? As you might, you know what I'm saying? The breakthrough kid, the world is going crazy right now. Man, like, it's fair to say the world's been going crazy for a long time, people. You know what I'm saying? It's just that we come to different awakening points of understanding when the fucking world is going crazy, because we were children and young and dumb, and we live in a society that's really trying to hide the truth from us anyway. So, with that being said, like, you wake up and realize, damn, this shit been like this probably since no, it's been like this for a long time. Like, slavery ain't even popping like it was before. Imagine how fucked up that world was 200, 300 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the world been crazy. Like, it's just the propaganda machine that they got us under right now, man. It's you know what I'm saying? It's unprecedented. There's nothing like this. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing like this. Like, this level of brainwash, this level of social conditioning, even with these social media outlets that we're on right now. Got to use them. I got businesses, I got things that I'm doing, of course, but that's part of the reason why everybody uses them. But, other than that, it's for staying in touch with family. For the most part these days, come on, man, like, this shit is heavily affecting how you think. It's heavily affecting your productivity. Like, there's so many drawbacks to this shit. And for some people, it's like literally affecting how they feel about themselves. Social media, like, for real, you can get to looking at people too hard, and negative shadow energies creep up on your ass, and you thinking about this and you thinking about that. Like, now you want a Bentley or some shit like that when you was cool with your, you know what I'm saying, Toyota or whatever you had just recently. You know what I'm saying? Like, this stuff is pretty powerful, as you guys know. And so we got to guard our minds, and these are the different amount of things that we're on. Like, we got to kind of sort of always be aware of, like, literally always be aware of, like, these things that are just trying to pick you up energetically and take you off your A game. And also energies within you that tell you that you don't deserve what you deserve. Like, doesn't matter what level you're at, these demons, these thoughts, these ideas, these are all shadow energies. And that's why I do the coaching that I do with men, for men to understand, like, you got possibly some negative energy that comes with some positive energy, but the negative energy is manifesting more than the positive. You got to learn how to deal with the negative aspect of this energy, because it's kind of here to stay. You just get stronger at resisting it as you learn higher levels. And, like, these are some of the things that, as men, we don't get people who are in our lives quite often that are here to help us with that, unless it's some anger. Somebody, if you get angry, like, everybody gonna tell you got anger issues. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Dre looking at my phone every morning. Exactly, man. There's so much. There's so much. Peace, fam. How you doing, bro? You know, there's so much. You know what I mean? So many different levels that we not aware of. We don't have enough help and we have enough resources as men. Like even as the manosphere and all this content is out here, you know what I'm saying? It's we still don't have enough men for our young men. Like, like this is an epidemic for the most part. And for the most part, one of the things that I would say that when it's all said and done, after a lot of men learn how to really, really re-engage with this rites of passage that they never had, what I'm saying? After you learn how to kind of sort of do things and that challenge your evolution so that way you can really evolve to another version of yourself. Like after you do that, it is going to be like the challenge is being consistent in whatever that contribution that you're bringing towards life is like, and that makes you more than you'll ever be you know when the time is right for you to have a relationship. You already been doing something, you already been being someone, you know what I'm saying? You're not hooking up with somebody when you're 14 or chasing tail ever since that age and forming this identity around these relationships. So when it's all said and done, I'm a little all over the place with this, but get out of the dating pool. You know what I'm saying? Stop rewarding these hoes. You know what I mean? Stop rewarding these terrible baby mothers. You know what I'm saying? Like I said this the other day, and this needs to be a movement. Listen, B, if she like I was talking to somebody and we were doing a coaching session about this courting stuff too, in general, because I said to him like, if a woman is not if you're gonna do the world a service and date a woman with a child, and you find that she cannot have an amicable relationship with her child's father, what you think that is just him? It's just his fault? It's just his fault? No, brother. It's not just his fault. So if you're going to do that, there has to be some kind of, he has to be involved. He has to take responsibility for his child. That's the first thing, and you will soon be that guy if she can't work out these things with somebody else. Like it's so easy. So when men start being like, okay, well, you know what? Because I personally did this. This chick with a kid, she was in her 20s at the time. You know what I'm saying? She had a kid with a dude. I was familiar with who the dude was. I was like, listen, man, you want to kick it with me? This how it's gonna be. You can't y'all can't be enemies. You know what I'm saying? He can have full access to his kid. Like this was like off GP. This is what I told her. Like he need to, and he needs to be capable of having custody. You need to trust him. I said, or else you and me ain't gonna work. What it didn't work out with her mending the fences with homeboy because ego and various other things. You understand? And so subsequently, it didn't work out between me and her. It was just a simple thing. Listen, all this hate that you got for this guy, it's too late. It's your kid's father. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So me and you, we can't vibe if there's no respect. And we're not talking about situations where somebody snatched her hair out and dragged her across the room or combed her hair, you know what I'm saying, Will Smith style. We're not talking about that. Like, there's some neutral zones of which the story depends. But you know what I'm saying? Majority of the time, either a guy's halfway there or gone. You know what I'm saying? Halfway is less than, halfway is actually being around, but less than halfway, meaning that you see a kid every so often and he's not even involved. Like, she still got to be cool with him. So when men have standards, like I'm just saying, when men have standards like these, what the fuck do you think happens? Of course, they're going to shop around for men with no standards. They're going to be looking for somebody who doesn't have any standard. But, eventually we're all going to catch on to the same shit and realize that, these standards are missing. I got no problem with no woman who, has a child, let's say a child. You understand what I'm saying? And it didn't work out. But guess what? I'm definitely, you know, I'm not looking at it as a position that's something that I necessarily want, but I'm also looking at it from a position that in order for me to even be okay with this, like y'all gotta be cool. Y'all gotta be flowing. And if it's not, then to me, I'm just gonna look at that as an issue. You know what I'm saying? For sure. Can't be with someone using their kids as a weapon against their dad, bro. You know how many dudes are smashing girls, women who are doing this? Come on, guys. Let's just be real. Because they know they can't be with nobody. They know they can't be with nobody. When a man is a good father or a worthy man to be, so to be in her and that man's child, the child, and she fights against him, or it's just dysfunctional. I've seen it so many different times. You know what I'm saying? Like men gotta be like, no, I'm not. If this opt out, just opt the fuck out, because you're gonna be next. You understand? Like plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she got to let it go. And the same goes for men. But we all know that the rules are different for men. You get what I'm saying? The rules are if your woman double crosses you, backstabs you, does all kind of things against you, and all these different things, you're still supposed to be the man. And you're still supposed to be honor her or somehow, somewhere for having your child or something like that, or pay her money. You're still supposed to do some of these things. That's what's expected of you as a man. And that then also feeds the same dysfunctional system that I'm talking about. So that means now a woman can double cross you as if she were your own exact enemy. And because she has your child, you still support her. You still peacefully deal with her. You don't abandon her. You don't disappear from her presence altogether. Like, some of them, honestly, I've seen men do this, and it was for their best interest and for the children's best interest as well too. But what I'm saying is, like, we live in a system here where we're totally awarding the women. We're tolerating it. So it's like, how in the hell? Listen, it's too oxymoronic, guys. It's too like just think about it. Think about how stupid men have been. Men used to court. That used to be the only way you get you a wife, and guess what? It still is, my G. Dating ain't shit. You look nice and you have a nice car. You got a nice few things. You know what I'm saying? Vaginas get wet. They don't know you, and you don't know them though. Like, you don't want to be finding out shit after. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is where we gotta get. And too many men are saying, like, in the back of the head, nah, fuck that shit. I'm gonna fuck that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Some guys, like she a deer in the headlights. So the truth is, when we're young and we're running through them, we can't teach these women anything. You get older now and you're like, damn, like at 22, you can't even talk to a 22-year-old if you're somebody close to 40 or over. Like it, but you should, because guess what? You can't talk to a 30-year-old. And for men up there in age, you damn well sometimes you can't talk to the women your age. Already too hardened, already been through too much. You know what I'm saying? Haven't healed enough things within themselves. Can't tell her shit. And this is who many men are marrying. You're marrying people who, for the most part, will not be loyal to you. Like, that shit should disgust you. Like, it should make you be like, listen, no dick for none of you hoes. You understand what I'm saying? Like, no, like, not, I'm not liking, I'm nothing. The skimpier you dress, the more I cover my face. You understand? On these posts where you're showing your ass cheeks, I type underneath it, man. unmarriageable. But then a whole lot of people gonna be mad with me. But what I'm saying, who cares? You can like it. But what I'm saying is, if you don't like it, get rid of it. Denounce it from amongst you. You get what I'm saying? Like this is like men, trust me, this is not only reserved for union workers negotiating pay. Like we have the power with masculine energy to influence how women behave. You gotta act like that. You gotta act like that. What's going on, Darian? Man, nice to see you, man. You know, you gotta act like that. You gotta act like you understand the power that you have. You know what I'm saying? They've already stripped us. Like, this is what the propaganda is about. This is what the propaganda is about. Your value. Everybody looks down upon you as a man because of how powerful you are. You understand? Your woman died. Like, that's the best thing that they ever did, because now if your partner doesn't believe in you and she lives with you, nigga, you ain't doing shit. No matter how hard you try, she's not your teammate. She goes off and work for somebody else for 8 to 10 hours a day. Like, she's not the teammate you think she is, brother. And you're in love with her. And y'all gonna make a family because of these different ideologies that you got in your head. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's genius. Like, that's why we do the self-work. Like, yes, there's self-work. Like, I advocate for the self-work, the personal self-work, right? Yeah, I know it's you, my hair. You know what I'm saying? You know, the personal self-work is important. But then, like, the wake up to see what you've been through, like how far behind the game you are, what has literally happened to you. You get what I'm saying? That's study, that's living it. You get what I'm saying? That's clearing off the cobwebs of your subconscious. You know what I'm saying? As my main man, Divine Light, would say to me. Clearing off the cobwebs off your subconscious so that way you can program your mind to accomplish different things, better things now, because you know the way forward. Your purpose in some ways is your guidance. So now you make less mistakes. You get what I'm saying? And I got a great example, right? I had this woman that I was dealing with many years ago, maybe about 15 years ago. And she, her energy type was very feminine and docile, to so to speak. But feminine is it. So, she ain't going to be talking up loud and doing all this extra shit. She ain't going to be confronting with nobody. Ain't going to be no arguments. You know what I'm saying? But here was the thing, right? Shorty wanted to be like this, like this career orientated person. And, when I'm 22 at the time, I'm like, okay, whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? It's a woman's world too. Like, you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or, all of this shit, whatever. Like, at that time, I still am to a certain degree. I'm encouraging of it. So, she goes towards the shits and, like, all of these different things. I want to go to real estate school. I want to do this. I want to do that. All this extra shit she wants to do. And I'm like, I'm all with it. And I noticed, like, yo, you don't want to do none of that shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, who you lying to? Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's be real. I said, I want you to sit your ass down and have my babies. You understand what I'm saying? And be preoccupied with that shit, because you seem to be the type that's going to do good at that. She got offended. And we were in a relationship, and she knew to it to a certain degree that she would be. But it's like, you got these women, you got these men, you got these people who literally, like, they don't know what's best for them. They don't know what's best for them, because all the people in their life, for the most part, all the people in your life, you know what I'm saying? What up, be yourself, man? Man, I'm out here, bro. All the people in your life, they tell you bullshit. They don't know. So you want to listen to them? They think they know, like, and you know, you always know people who think they know. They think they know people is they get out there teaching you some shit before they even master it. They learned the shit yesterday, and today they on the internet calling themselves Reiki master, Jedi trainer. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't been through shit. You know what I'm saying? Just a perspective. So it's like, as men, if we don't do the personal work, if we don't do the self work, if we don't find ourselves, if we don't understand our life's purpose, if we don't do, if we don't do that stuff, man, like, relationships are always going to be turbulent. They're going to be turbulent as what? And for the most part, you know, if you don't learn how to court, which is what I'm talking about more so in the workshop, and this is just workshop portion one, but the point is, like, if you don't know how to strategically, it's like writing a business plan. You know, I've always been like a business student or whatever the case is. So, you know, it's like a business plan. Like, you got to be able to explain it to others what the hell you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this is the plan, and this is what I'm trying to accomplish, and this is what I'm going to need you to do, the role I'm going to need you to play. You know what I'm saying? And most women are going to be like, oh, but what about who I am? You know what I'm saying? This interferes with, and then you be like, stop negotiating. It's either you like, you think you want the shit or not. Like, cause like, go get you somebody who wants what you want. Women who are listening, good luck with that. Good luck. Cause like, y'all obviously haven't been that successful. You know what I'm saying? Because you, or else you wouldn't be picked over so many different times. It can't always be the men. And I do understand. We got some fucking issues. And even us who are still working on ourselves, working towards ourselves, we got some issues. You understand what I'm saying? And there's work to do on both sides. But if you think, you know, like, that's why you gotta be okay with taking yourself off the market. Sit your ass to the side, develop yourself, know what you want. You understand what I'm saying? Because, like, can't no woman tell me that I didn't know what the fuck I want. That's the only way to be. Because then that way you free. I told you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I told you, like, oh, well, I didn't believe you. I didn't. That's why you don't deal with her. You tell her over and over she's not convinced. She's showing you to a certain degree that she's not your woman. And many guys, what do? We try to prove ourselves. Listen, your energy is gonna be low. You're not gonna be on top of your game if your woman is not encouraging of you being at the top of the game, because she's busy trying to get her own. It ain't no y'alls. It ain't nothing shared. It's selfish. Like, this is what they've been conditioned to do. Like, men, like, who want families, you can't marry people like that. You can't have children with people like that. And when you do, you know, like, here's the thing. When you have children with people, women that you ultimately won't stay with, it's two things. Like, they can mess the game up as much as they want, but it's either she instinctually, innately chose you, meaning that choosing to be with you, is something that really truly enhances her being, and it's very complimentary to her, or she chose you on some trauma related superficial type of stuff. Now, you have a woman who has your child and she chose you on some superficial stuff. Prepare for hell. Prepare for hell. She chooses you on some authentic stuff and you guys can't make it together, there will always be respect. And she only chooses you on authentic stuff if you know your authentic self. So it's like, you know, if you meet her at level A and you go to level C, She doesn't have to accept you at level C. But and if you and if you meet her at level C, and let's say you were at level C, and let's say C is lower than A, of course, and then you move to level A, and she can't treat you like you're at level A, like, I know that that's hard to tell in the early game. Like, how you know if you're gonna, but that's why you got to do the background references. That's all. These are all the things that I'm talking about in the strategic courting series. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to learn what you need to know for your complementary happiness. You got to know yourself that well so that way you can literally have a good strategy to get what you want. If you have a legacy that you're building, why risk it by just being casual and just give anybody a baby, and then you find out all this complicated shit 2 weeks later? You know what I'm saying? Like, too many of us have brought children to the world or some fluke stuff. And like I said before, you know, by the way, guys, check out my podcast. There should be a link in the bio or somewhere. It's the I Am Nakata podcast. You can find it on Spotify as well as Google Play and the Apple Store, because I talk about some of this on there. You know, I got 3 or 4 episodes up right now. But be sure to check that out and give me your feedback, guys. I'm always looking for your feedback on anything that I do. But you know, this whole courting aspect is like, I'm just trying to show men, like, it's a game to a certain degree. That's why we call it the game, but we dilute it. You understand? It's a game in the marketplace. It's a game without a purpose. In courting, when you step your game up, it's a game with purpose. It's chess. I chose you because, plain and simple. Women have internal kind of sensories to detect the men that they want to be with. You understand? So they don't really have to do all this extra shit to choose. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is what we don't understand sometimes, but it's embedded. So like, they know they want to be whatever you need them to be almost immediately. But when they're not conditioned to essentially be with this individual, because that's the thing. Women know they want to be with you, but they want to be with you how they want to be with you. And any man who is essentially on his purpose, about his life's purpose, you get what I'm saying? You want to be with a woman who wants to be with you because of who you are. And if who you are is something too different from her, it's either she can handle it or not. You can't be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm an author. I'm sorry, baby girl, but you gonna have to like reading some goddamn books if you like, because like, that's just me. That's just how my household is gonna be. We're gonna be reading, we're gonna be listening, we're gonna be about literature. I'm a literary type of person. Like, you feel me? That's gonna be in there. Learning is gonna be in there. So if I get a broad that don't like learning, like, it's gonna be fire for her ass, or she gonna be out the door, because you're gonna have to keep up. So men, like, we gotta get firm about it. You know, I gotta tell somebody just yesterday, man, you gotta know how to put your foot up somebody's ass, figuratively. And that's using your own worth and your own value. You gotta know what you came here to bring, what you represent. Because women, they will forget. They will forget. They can have the perfect man and be in an illusion or a fantasy about how things are going to be. No, it's going to be like according to the person. It's not going to be according to the fantasy. it needs to be according to the person, not according to the fantasy. And so when it becomes now a matter of essentially um, having a woman or having a relationship with a woman who perhaps isn't accustomed to even being in a relationship where the man actively leads, like, and it's like, it doesn't mean that the woman doesn't lead. It doesn't mean that, none at all, but it matters about that woman's personality and what she's been raised to do. You know, if a woman hasn't been raised to be nobody's wife, like, you can't get mad when she don't treat you like a wife, when you don't see wife character in her. You got to do your math a little bit further. You're going to have to come up with another solution for that, because it's either you're going to teach her and she learns, which is rare. You got teaching skills? Maybe you do. You know what I'm saying? Remember now, we all think we do. But you ain't really got teaching skills until you yourself have become teachable. So if you can't nobody teach you, trust me, bro, you might come off at this teaching kind of thing with the woman. You understand? But that shit ain't gonna last long, because you're not teaching, which means that you're not teachable, which means that you're not evolving. You're not growing. You're not learning no new shit. You're not bringing no new things to the world. And just like I tell somebody, just the other day, it's like, if you growing and they're not, they gonna outgrow you. I mean, if they're not growing and you're growing, and vice versa, the bottom line is, if you stop growing, the relationship will be over at some point. As a man, if you stop growing and evolving, it's over at some point. She might stick around for a while, but on the other hand, if women stop growing, we tend to keep them. You understand what I'm saying? We tend to try to make it work. We tend to try to teach them. We tend to try to show them. But the real truth is, you're going to have to try over and over with somebody who's not growing, because it takes discipline to grow. You got to have personal and self-discipline to grow. You got to put in the work. You got to invest in it. You got to sacrifice. People be wanting, you ever meet people who are not sacrificing, do what the fuck they want to do, but they want all this other stuff. How you going to do both? How you going to be undisciplined, do what the hell you want to do, right? And then get everything you want? Because you're not doing all of the disciplined things. You're not doing the things you don't want to do. Where in life can you find a life where there's not things that you don't want to do? There's always things that I don't want to do that needs to be done. They don't all equate to a sacrifice, but they're things to be done. And sometimes I ignore them for days, but they need to be done. So you have to have a mindset that it's not just peaches and cream. So what does a relationship look like when you now need to do some things that are hard to do? Like, do you want a woman where you have to beat her head against the wall, figuratively? Or do you want somebody who flows with you? Do you want to have to be speaking all the time? If you got the patience, you will. Or do you want somebody who's learning, somebody who's growing? They growing, so they quickly put that into their subconscious. When you got to beat something in somebody's head and tell them over and over and over again, sometimes they don't even know why they're resisting, because, you know what I'm saying? You're like somebody's daddy in this point. And guess what? Daddy, like, every woman needs a daddy. But daddy don't get much in return. Daddy do it because that's his parent. That's his child. You do it for the best interest of your child. And as a man, you're going to do things in the best interest of your woman as well, too. But at the same time, you're not gonna get the rewards, because you know what I'm saying. So you gotta be her man, not her daddy. Daddy don't get shit. Your daddy just happy to see you doing good. And I'm sure a lot of us got that daddy spirit that we apply to our relationships. You just want to see her do better. You know what I'm saying? You want to see her do better. But guess what? You need back rubs, you need home cooked meals. You understand what I'm saying? You need somebody to do the books if you that's what you need her to do. You need somebody to hire the other people when you're not in town. You need somebody to check the emails, answer the phone calls, make some phone calls. You need that too. Like if you can't do that, man, like I'm not I'm not actively out here trying to give you all this wisdom and give you everything I got. Because you know that no man should want to subject himself to a situation or a relationship where you constantly giving and not getting what you want in return. You ain't her daddy. This is this. So you know the fatherly types, you know, especially men who have fathers in their lives, by nature you want to be fatherly. But it, to women who've never had a father figure in their life, or perhaps to some who have, you know, they may not appreciate that energy. They may not appreciate that energy. So, like, do you want to be with that person? I mean, if, like I said, if you're a teacher, do it. But what I'm saying is, like, play the game. You know, what I'm talking about overall is us as men, you know, playing the game to get what we want. Like, not playing the game to, you're not playing the game aimlessly, essentially. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you don't see the type of women just at all in your neighborhood or your town, shut the town down. I got rules for how you maneuver around the undesirables or the leftover women. You understand? The leftover women are, you know what leftovers are. They're leftover, but they're good looking leftovers. You just don't know that shit. So you just don't dip in the game none whatsoever, because that's what it most likely is. You know what I mean? You know good vibe when you know good vibe. When a man wants a family, he got to move differently. You know what I'm saying? He got to move differently. And listen, you could be very skilled at turning a hoe into a housewife. And if you do, like, I tip my pimp hat to you, bro. Do you understand what I'm saying? I've seen it a few times. But if you turn a hoe into a housewife, that means she never was a hoe in the big get go. You understand what I'm saying? Because trust me, like, if it's not destined for her, in many cases it's not destined for her. But you got to understand what kind of individual that you're getting in your life at all times. Know what you're getting, know what you're giving. That's just the name of the game. You got a particular energy that you're trying to receive. You know, like you need somebody who, you know, who talks to you in a particular way. You know what I'm saying? You need somebody, depending on what your love language is, you might need somebody who gives you massages every day after work. And that's how you feel loved. Everybody's different, man. Everybody's different. A massage every day ain't gonna make me feel so loved. Straight up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do something else. You know. I mean, I like a massage, I like a massage, you know. I like a fucking massage. But I got other shit that I need my woman to do. Essentially, massage is cool. I got other things that I like. I prefer a good meal over a massage. You just gotta know yourself. All men just gotta know themselves and bring that to the table. You get what I'm saying? And look out. Don't ask. Look out. Look out. Don't ask. Don't ask her if she gonna give you what you want. The fuck you think she gonna say? Women are undefeated when it comes to telling you what you want to hear. Women are undefeated at making themselves seem like all you ever dreamed of within the first 30 days of meeting them. And the really, really good ones can keep it up for 9 months. But no matter how good they are, they can't keep it up past 6 months. So you got to also learn the numbers game. And I'll talk about this too, the numbers game, the 30 days, the 45, the 90, and like if you just do it yourself right now, do the math right now. Think about all your past relationships. think about when certain problems happen. Notice that you'll find 45 days is when the first problem usually happens. Do you understand what I'm saying? The next one will happen in between if there's going to be problems. But if not, if things are pretty smooth, then you're going to meet another challenge in 90 days. You get what I'm saying? Like it multiplies by the numbers, quite frankly. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you just look at your own stuff, you'll notice it works in those patterns as well too. So there's some numerological mastering that comes with the rhythm, so to speak, of doing it properly. You get what I mean? The flow of, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like I already know. You know what I'm saying? Let's say for the guys who want to go out of the country, right? I already know what countries I'm gonna go. I already know what cities and towns I kind of have to drive to. You get what I'm saying? Like this is strategy. I already know how much it's going to cost me to be there for 3 months, 6 months. You get me? Like this is these are the things that further along the course we talk about, so that way you can learn that if like you kind of gotta take that approach for men who want children that they want to raise in a family unit with a woman. Like you gotta do whatever you gotta do to get you a woman who's gonna remain loyal to you. It's not gonna be telling your fucking business. It's not gonna be trying to report you to the fucking IRS. Who's not gonna be trying to bring down you what you're trying to do. Who even if y'all this is it. Even if y'all split, even if you split, she remains respectful to you. And we don't want an if split, but if there's a split, that's the only thing we want. If you have children with her, if you don't have children, she can vamos. You know, get gone. We don't want to see you no more. But she's got it like you. Like this is so important. This is so important. Look at us. We can't get our women to cooperate with us. They want to control us, and it ain't always our fault. Listen, we make mistakes, but it ain't always our fault. I've seen it. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's always our fault in the sense of both of our fault. You get what I'm saying? Always. And there are some occasions where men are young and dumb, but so was she. And she don't get a pass for being young and dumb. You know what I'm saying? She was out here in these streets doing things. You know? Like it's just can't be too apathetic out here, guys. When it comes to courting, it's a game for keeps. If you a family builder, you have to be like a Wall Streeter. Like the same approach Wall Street guys take to making money and padding their profits. It's the same approach that you literally have to make when it comes, if you the type of man who wants a family that you're gonna keep together. And remember, even if you have children already with even dissenting mothers or women that you'll never unify again with, even if you have them, you still need your own family, because the family is eventually going to be the anchor, even for that combatant woman. Your family, the establishment, the estate. That way you got to build. And if children are going to be a part of it, you just can't afford. You cannot afford. You know, my course costs $40 to get in. I get it. Some people may say they can't afford it, but listen, you're gonna cost you more than that for a date. You get what I'm saying? Like, you got to learn how to prepare your pipeline, and you got to learn what kind of position you need to be in before you even prepare your pipeline. Like, I get it. It's kind of logical. I know it's kind of intelligent or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? But you trying to win or fucking lose? Because right now, the marketplace is loser's paradise, predator's paradise. You can hope and wish all you want. She's a good girl. She's a good girl, my ass. And even if she's a good girl, like, what does the fuck? What does that mean? Some of you think she's a good girl because she got a good job. Some of you think she's a good girl because she went to college. Some of you think she's a good girl because she didn't fuck a lot of dudes. Some of you think she's only a good girl, she's a virgin. Can she be a good girl and not have a father? Can she be a good girl while having a terrible relationship with her mother? Can she be a good girl if if she comes from a socio-economic position that was very hard, stressful life? Like we gotta learn. We gotta learn, man. This is what they ain't want you to know. This is the stuff that they, because like as long as we continue just having babies with the eight faces, what I'm saying, which is true. Most women, like, you're not catching a woman beyond. You're not catching an eight who's gonna remain an eight beyond 25. An eight in the face, I'm talking. You understand? You're not catching that. The age is gonna bring that down. And most women you consider an eight that are in the 20s need hella makeup to be that eight. Y'all let me know if I'm lying. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all let me know if I'm lying. So like, one thing I know about my people is that we know everything. You know what I'm saying? We know everything already. So you can't tell somebody nothing. And, we only want to pay one person to get information, and we want to feel as if we got this. I've been there myself. And every time I thought that I knew it, I always meet somebody who knows more and helps me remain humble and understand that, damn, I thought I knew this shit, but I didn't. You get what I'm saying? Like I thought I had good information because that's what I thought. That's what happened to me. Like, I thought I had good information. I still went through same shit, no different from anybody who didn't have as much family support as I did, because I had plenty. Still went through the same stuff. Simply because this is just how it is. This is how it is when you enter the market. That's why it's so dangerous for men who particularly want to have families. Like, don't enter the market at all. Stay out that bitch. Plot from the outside. Notice some patterns first. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't do it. Reconsider. Like, we all have been taught to a certain degree that we should sow our royal oats. So we should have a lot of sex with a lot of women for the purpose of feeling like we're validating ourselves. It's time we get out of that. We got to get out of it. Like, we got to. So, I hope to see some of you guys on the course. It was going to be yesterday, but pushed it back to next Wednesday. And it's very practical. And like I said, it's for dudes who actually want to marry, who are ready to, who are already focused on their lives, or, you're just trying to get certain things in perspective because you got more work to do. Like, if you're already building, like, a woman, for the most part, is a major distraction. If you're in the early phases, if your company or building isn't where you want it to be, because listen, if she isn't 100% conforming to you, when you get where you want to get, you're gonna leave her. So, like, you understand? If you're going through something right now and she not 100% with it and 100% supportive, when you get what you want, you're going to leave her. So, like, why even get anybody who's going to be halfway with it in the first place? If they only halfway with it, it means that they don't have what it takes to do this. They too busy doing other shit. She's too busy doing other shit, which means that she don't have enough time to put it in her subconsciousness why his success is important to her. She's busy going after hers. So by default, you're just not going to be at your full potential with somebody whose mind isn't attuning and aligning with yours. Yeah, that's where the science comes in. But that's why you do the self-work before. That's why you know yourself beforehand. That's why you spend the time, you spend the years, if that's what it takes, to really understand yourself. Understand how are you supposed to enter a relationship? You're supposed to bust through the door like I usually do. Like that don't work for everybody. Are you supposed to slide in? You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to wait till she holler, or you supposed to make yourself, like everybody got a different strategy. Knowing yourself and on the levels that I do in my coaching helps you really understand how you're supposed to enter into relationships, because in many cases that's just as important to how the relationship proceeds in the long run. How you start shit, unfortunately, no matter, unless you are a master who can do some wrong shit, self-correct, and fix it before the consequences get too bad, but you're still gonna feel the consequences somehow of your errors. So unless you're that type of person, like you're not getting away with starting or entering a relationship from a wrong position. You ain't getting away with that shit. If you don't have the level of mastery, then you not getting away with it just comes faster. When I had children, it took ultimately 5 or 6 years for what I foresaw within the issues, because I constantly adjusted myself because I wanted to be around for a particular purpose. I wanted to serve my purpose, and I did, and I do. But the point is, when you know that somebody is growing in a different direction than you, like, you make plans or you escape. Like you can't just think that you will be okay with this person who thinks, you thinking to yourself, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna sell 1 million copies of your latest album, and she thinking to herself, man, you might sell 50,000 or something like that. That's what she think, bro. Bro, you, you might sell 250. You might even sell 999. But with her ass thinking that you ain't gonna get that million, you might never get that million. Not until you leave. And sometimes that's just how it is. That's just how it is. It's a dirty game out here. But when you begin to understand energy dynamics based on your own, because let's be real, and this is what I work on with the coaching as well too, for men to understand, you got shadow energies, bro. You got shadow energies. You got shit that you don't like about you. Sure, the whole goal of personal development is learning how to understand these shadows in a certain degree, because it's a big part of it. But beyond that, you got to get you somebody who actually vibes with your shadows. Because it's not like it's not gonna come. The more you master yourself, the less your shadow shows up. But that dude, he the shadow for a reason. Every night he got a chance. Every day. You feel me? As long as that sunshine, he got a chance. Only time you can't see your shadows when you sleep, G. You know what I'm saying? And even then, while you sleep, your shadow got mental illusions happening in your mind. Percentually, it's being fused into the dreams that you have. You ain't going nowhere without the shadow. So the better you understand your shadows, the better you understand your so-called flaws and imperfections, that's what the personal work is for. And a lot of us, we want to do that shit in 30 days. 60 days, 90 days or something like that. You can try, but it's going to take longer than that. You get what I'm saying? For something that you haven't been working on, who's been teaching you about yourself? Like how many years of reinforcement does that have? Because it ain't going to be second nature. You're going to have to habitualize certain things. You're going to have to neurologically reprogram your mind to do things differently. And that's what essentially gets done in this course, is really to help you understand how you can literally reprogram your approach to women. Listen, we already have all the reasons why we shouldn't continue, right? We see it. Like, we don't want to do this no more. You don't have children anyways, these ways. You don't want to have to build wealth and lose it just because you have children with the wrong person. You don't want your children to have to be traumatized because mommy doesn't like daddy, or because, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to change the conducts. Men who cheated on women who deserve to be fucking cheated on are being treated like shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, because they put somebody on a pedestal they shouldn't been on, and now they're the enemy of the state. The woman who you shouldn't have cheated on, when you cheated on her and you had a child with her, she's still reasonable. She go through her little thing too, but she's still reasonable. It's the one that deserves the bad treatment that you know, like it's so crazy. Like we got it, we got it messed up. For the most part, as men, we've got it messed up. We got a lot of work to do. So the strategic courting is just really about gaining this kind of understanding about the marketplace that's there. I talk about in depth how the marketplace was created. Like this shit is a new phenomenon. Like, like women, they only listen to who's clearly the alpha or the dominant individual and the money. So even if you are the dominant, the wiser, the stronger energy, even the source of strength, some of them, you're gonna lose some of them to the money because they've been trained to be that way. And you may find some who will stay loyal to you because of your wisdom and your excellence in other ways. But those ones will be there to help you manifest whatever. So if that's money, houses, cars, jewels, whatever your life wants, land, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you want. If she really submits to your mastery, your development as a man, and respects it, she'll definitely make you better. But if she doesn't, she won't make you better. If she's still, if she's gonna be with you, and the family is just gonna be her having a baby, like I've been there, like, a baby that she thinks she owns, or a baby that she thinks somehow she can use as a pawn somehow, some way. Like, that's what we're getting these days. And that's what you're likely to get. That's what you're likely to get if you just haphazardly go out here in these streets, you know what I'm saying, and lay up, you know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, you can get away from the layups from time to time, but you can't get away from every one of them. You ain't gonna dodge every bullet, G. And it's important. And so it's important that you learn how to walk the tight line, because even for the men that I advise that are, if you're really, really dedicated to building a family, I know it's still hard, essentially, to avoid marketplace women because of the abundance and the availability and the fact that you've been sexually indoctrinated long before already. So, it becomes harder. So, we talk about different ways how to make it out of that, because it's a trap house. Like like you can easily fall back with exes. You can easily fall back with, friends with benefits. You can easily fall back with baby mothers. Like, you can easily fall back. It's too easy, and it costs you too much, especially when you have children. You know what I'm saying? And when you don't have children, it's costing you your time. So, strategic courting is about really setting it up. Like, some of y'all are breaking some of these rules that even if you just stick to it, you'll never have any problems. And what that means is that you'll have all the problems and you'll push them to the side, because you'll never have any problems. And meaning, what I mean by that is that you won't be saddled with somebody who doesn't please you. You won't be saddled with somebody who you don't like because you made a wrong move, or because you want some desperation shit, or whatever the case is. Like, you're gonna always bring up the things that are relevant for fully understanding the person, to the point where, boom, okay, well, looks like we're having an impasse here and we can't continue. Like, and that's how it goes. Like, when you're at a certain level, that's how it goes. But like I said, we all have a heart. We all have a heart. We all have empathy. We all can understand. Many of us are coming from similar paths. And if you choose to be patient with a woman who you believe in, let's just know that it's risky. And like I said earlier, you gotta be on your Master G shit. You gotta be God MC. You gotta be God MC to be thinking that you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you resurrect life, you breathe life into her. You gotta be the real deal, Holyfield. So and so essentially, if you're not that, if you're not that dude, if you're not that dude, don't do it. If you're not that dude, don't do it. Don't go there with them. You know what I'm saying? What's up, everybody just joining me? Andrew, Dark Knight was good. Paul, Damien was good. King Juan was good with you. What's up, Earl? Clint was good with you. Namo, you know, just basically, talking essentially about this whole process that we got to go through. You know what I'm saying? What up? What up? We got to go through this. Like we got to go through this. Like, man, you ain't hiding from this. Like, if you want families, of course, and if you don't want families, because a lot of cats don't want families, and I'm not here to argue with you about your wants. That's why this course is, you know what I'm saying, this workshop series is probably not for you. You dig? But that's cool. It's still game. But if you don't want family and you out there sampling these broads, just understand that your other dudes, if you don't treat it with integrity, you understand what I'm saying? It's gonna make you messing up women who could be somebody's wife. You know what I'm saying? Stick to the hoes. If a man is not trying to have him a family or a relationship, you can't be trying to knock down good girls who could be trying to be somebody's wife. You got to have some ethics. You have to have ethics. You have to have ethics. If you ain't trying to have a wife, you gotta have some ethics. And the ethics is them houses for everybody. This is like basic school stuff. Well, maybe not basic school, but high school. You can have an old lady, but them hoes, they for everybody. So if you're not trying to have an old lady, have everybody the everybody block is yours. It's all your lane. But don't be out here trying to press so-and-so, you know what I'm saying, good girl so-and-so just to get her out of this stuff. Like, you gotta have ethics. You know what I'm saying? Our children, the future ones, they gotta get married. They can't like we damn near extinct. Your great grandmother or your grandmother have 13 children. Your mother had 2, 3, the most. Like, when we talking about family building, like it's about being fruitful and multiplying for sure. But it's also about being intentional that, okay, we have pretty much an enemy occupation kind of thing going on where our minds are like not family orientated. Like we damn near can't help it. A man and a woman, even, they get married and they still don't know how to work it. They still don't know how to be a family. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is a clear and present danger psychology that many people have. And we know, a lot of it has to do with us not being, studying the right material. Like, you went through that K through 12 public school. If you went through any public school, almost anywhere in the Western Hemisphere, like, you are not family orientated because the school system really don't give a crap about your family. They give a crap about you learning these little instructions so you can fall in place. They give a crap about the programming that they're on. So, it's like, this is what we're contending with. That's what we're contending with. This is what we're contending with on both sides of the fence. So if you happen to be one of the men listening to this, or, you really trying to, like, literally, you're trying to watch your steps. I see some of y'all on here, like, I'll tell you straight up, watch your step, young man. Watch your step when it comes to these women. Watch your step when it comes to these relationships. Know yourself first. It ain't nothing more important than that. It's nothing more important than you knowing yourself, when it comes to that aspect of it. You understand what I'm saying? And that takes care of almost everything else. But you got to look at your own background. You got to look at your own mama. You got to look at your grandmother. You got to look at the women in your family. You know, do you want somebody like them, or you can subconsciously program to get somebody like them, or you want somebody opposite of them? Are you subconsciously programmed to do that? Like, what is driving your desire plate? These are things that you got to learn how to deal with yourself, because you really don't know what you want until you've come to this acceptance of why you want what you want. Like, that's why they, that book says start with why. Like, everything does start with the why you want what you want. Because then if you know why, then you know how important it is to get the job you want, the business you want, the book published you want to publish, the move out of state or out of country that you want. When you have your why, it becomes so much more important to you. So then when somebody comes along and they're not fitting the block, and you're trying to force them in, and you realize, oh shit, this even goes against the why. Then you be like, listen, man, I wanna get married not because I'm in love. I want to get married because I want a foundation to pass along to my work, to pass along, my purpose. You understand what I'm saying? To pass along what has been passed along to me from the men before me and the women before me that have been passing down these different things. I want to pass it down. I want to build, and I want to be a part of the rebuilding of my people. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be here. I'm trying to have some. Yeah, I'm trying to be here, in the sense that even if I got to die, I'm coming back to some good shit, because I kicked it off right with this generation here. You understand? Like, that's it. So if the woman that I'm with thinks that's far fetched, or thinks that I'm dreaming too big, or thinks that, boy, you this, you need to be realistic. Nah, bruh. It's not who you gonna be with. At the very least, you gotta be able to believe in you. And I'm not talking about, yeah, babes, you go ahead and do that. I'm talking about daily. I'm talking about habitually. I'm talking about when she ain't around you, she's still thinking about what it is. You understand what I'm saying? Like this is what we're not getting. This is what we've not been getting from our women. And there's a reason why. It ain't because you're not worth it, bro. It ain't because you don't have a job or that. It ain't because that. This is the design. This is design. And what they want is for you to accept this. They want to make you seem like they literally take your woman and program her for a day job, or program her at an educational program or a school. Literally program her and say to you as a man, you can't do that shit to her though. You can't program her though. Like, we only us non-governmental organizations and the media is going to program your woman for you. We're going to condition how she thinks, so that way we can get her to treat you how we want her to treat you, because we don't need your ass being so powerful by her serving you so well. You ain't going to do nothing but gain power when your woman worships you, works for you. You ain't going to do nothing but get power from that. That's what they don't want. You understand? That's what they don't want. So that's what you ain't gonna never get it without discipline. You ain't ever gonna get it without knowledge of self. You're not. Like, we're not gonna get all of this allegiance and loyalty and anything from these women until we know ourselves and reclaim, our godship. You're not getting none of this. You're getting a little something, but you're getting that on some superficial level. You're getting that in some cases from women who truly don't believe in you. So the whole game is about learning how to avoid the fate of having to deal with somebody who's really not here to see you rise the way and become who you're destined to be. Like, it's important. This is an important skill for men to have. It's utterly important for men to literally avoid getting trapped by women who do not believe in you. I ain't talking about women, I'm talking about nothing else. Just the ones that don't believe in you. Just the ones that don't see the height of who you could be. Get rid of them. Anyways, I'm out of here. Check out the course. Workshop, link in the bio, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you guys as well.